So, Kamala Harris put out a video over the weekend openly declaring her support for communism. It's an animated video that she's narrating, but in it, she just overtly declares her support for the communist philosophy. Thanks for listening to the Independent Paradox. On today's short take, I want to take a quick look at the video Kamala Harris released over the weekend. Obviously, from this video, she's showing us what she truly believes and what she really wants to see happen. It's a video about the difference between equality and equity. I'm not going to play the whole video here. It's easy enough for you to find all over YouTube or any other social media site. She directly says that everyone should end up in the same place. In part of the video, she says, it's about giving people the resources and the support that they need. And at the end, she says, so that we all end up in the same place. Sounds very, very similar to a quote from Karl Marx, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Which, what that means is, according to the fundamental communist principles, free access to and distribution of goods, capital, services, money, food, whatever. Everyone gets the same thing as everyone else. You only get what the government decides that you need so that you're equal to everyone else. We are a country built on the principle of equality, not equity. That doesn't mean we've always done the equality part correctly. Doesn't mean that as a country we haven't made mistakes. Of course we have. But what Kamala Harris is suggesting goes beyond the founding principles of our country and deep into the foundations of communism. She says that even if we all start in the same place and compete on equal footing, that no matter what, we are all supposed to end up in the same place. Yeah, in a perfect world where we all have the same abilities, whether it's athletic or the same intelligence or any of that, sure, fine, yeah, that could happen. But we all know that's not the way life is and that's not the way we all are. Our government and laws say all of its citizens should be treated equally, given each the same access to all the rights and liberties as every other citizen. Laws that would require equity would violate our rights that are protected under our Constitution. The only possible way to guarantee equity is to limit someone else's rights. You cannot have equity unless you hold someone else back that might be excelling in a particular field. I mean, think about it. To have complete and total equity where everybody ends up in the same place, that means wouldn't every football game, basketball game, baseball, soccer, any sporting event or competition, I mean, they'd all have to all end up in a tie. That's what equity would be. And no child in school could then be graded according to the quality of their work. It takes away our freedom of choice because then our choices really have no consequences. They wouldn't mean nearly as much. If you make good choices and I make bad choices, well, we're still going to end up in the same place. So what difference does you making good choices make? Because I'm going to get the same things that you are either way. The government isn't here to create equity. It is here to provide the freedom, equality, and protection to its citizens so that they can decide for themselves. Freedom to decide where they are going to end up. Like I've said before, those freedoms that we have for choice and to make our own decisions, no matter how good they are, they're not going to guarantee that you're going to end up where you want to end up. And that's why the government can't be here to say, no matter what you're going to do, you're going to end up the same as everyone else. That's just not the way life works. I mean, communism's never worked anywhere. It's not going to work here. You can't tell someone that no matter where they start, they can't be better or do better. You can't tell someone how low they start that they are only going to be able to reach certain heights. That just all goes back to the Democratic Party trying to tell groups of people that no matter what they do and no matter how hard they try, that they're never going to be equal without help. It is complete and total nonsense and an insult to those people that's being told to. The one thing about this country that you at least get to make those decisions and you have those freedoms to make those choices, and you, like I said, you may not end up where you want to, but at least in this great country we are given the opportunity to do everything within our own power to make it happen. Again, like I said, it's freedom. Tomorrow is election day. If you haven't voted yet, get out there and vote. Remember, this is about your vote tomorrow. In a world as Kamala Harris sees it and would want it to be, your vote wouldn't even matter because you would have no say-so on where your life ended up. No matter how hard you worked and how much you studied and no matter what you did, the government would still decide how successful you're allowed to be. That's not what this country is. Go vote. Thank you for listening to The Independent Paradox. If you like what you've heard, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.